What's happening? So I wanted to do a little video talking about how a dog can help you learn to love something when you don't love anything. Unfortunately, that's the reality of life for some people sometimes. My dog's about 5 years old now, about 5.5 years old, and I got him amidst the right old pickle. I was drinking lots, and I'll tell you a specific example of a story of when I really sort of had to learn that it wasn't just me anymore. Unfortunately, there's this thing built into humans that we're more than happy to self-sabotage, whether it's with food, when we overindulge and eat takeaways and things that are barely even food, or we might drink too much alcohol or take drugs or smoke or stay inside and not get any social interaction or movement, and we might just stay still in one place playing computer games. And we know all of these things aren't good for us, but yet we still do it. And there's something about humans that we are sometimes more than happy to do things that we know aren't good for us. And unfortunately, that's just something that we have to be aware of. However, with a pet, with a dog, it teaches you responsibility. So I'm going to tell you two stories basically. I was drinking too much. I was drinking a lot, and it wasn't happy drinking. I wasn't drinking to be out with my friends on a jolly. I was drinking because I was depressed, and I just wanted to get blackout drunk and forget that existence even existed. That's what I was drinking to get to that darkness, essentially, because when I was there, everything felt calm and nice because I was so off my rocker, I wasn't thinking about anything. And then I've got this dog in the midst of that. I was on a night out, and basically, I'd give you the full scope. I was speaking to this girl. She was gorgeous, proper, for me, 10 out of 10. Your friends and family start to get excited, and they're like, oh, can I meet her? And my friend was doing a gig at the O2. He's a performer, and I told him that I was bringing this girl, and he was well excited. He's like, oh, yeah, can't wait to meet her, bring her backstage. So I'm like, yeah, I wanted to play that role. She'd messaged me on the day that she couldn't make it because she was moving house. And I took this all on as like some sort of form of rejection. Like I say, I wasn't in a great place at the time. This girl coming into my life was sort of covering over a crack. There wasn't anything rooted, so when she said that she couldn't make it, I was sunk straight back down because of the embarrassment to have to tell my friend that she wasn't coming anymore. Like, I felt I was making it all up. So I've gone to the gig and I've just got proper drunk. They sold these 2-pint drinks, so I was just drinking those and smashing them back. The gig's finished and I end up at a hospital because I've run down an escalator and I've hit every step on the way down and my head's just gushing with blood. Woke up in this hospital thinking, oh crikey, what's gone on here? And then I've looked at my head and my clothes, I'm covered in blood. And I remembered that I had a dog. I had a little puppy at home. So he must have been about 3 months, 4 months old. And I'd left him at home all night because I've woke up, it must have been about 4 or 5 in the morning. So he'd been by himself from the point that I left, maybe about 4 p.m. till 4 in the morning. And I just remember thinking, no, what have I done? And it was like a real mirror to my face going, you're a scumbag. You got this responsibility, this little baby puppy that you're supposed to be looking after, and you're so selfish that you've gone out and you've forgot you've even got a responsibility. Like, how heartless are you that you are so self-obsessed that you'll go out, get messed up and mangled, forgetting you've got someone else whose life is solely in your control. So I've just run out of the hospital. I've taken all these cables and wires off me. I've booked an Uber. I got in the Uber driver's thinking, crikey, who we got in here? Because I was bald at the time, covered in blood, shirt on from the night out. He's thinking, what on earth is this geezer doing, or where's he been? But he thought, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to drive him home because I got quite a good Uber rating. And I've gone in the door, rushed in the front door, and this puppy, honestly, he was so happy to see me. He didn't care anything. He didn't care that I'd left him or forgotten about him. He just showed me so much love. And I just sunk to the floor with him in my arms, just so grateful that I'd got a second chance. He'd given me, like, do you know what I mean? He just showed me so much love, and I needed that, and I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve that love whatsoever, but he afforded me it. It was certainly a reflection point. Things didn't quite get on the straight and narrow just then, but it was certainly a reminder, certainly a moment in time where I looked at myself and thought, do you know what, mate? Like, life's not just about you anymore, and you need to sort it out. Going back to how sometimes we're more than happy to cause ourselves harm, but more likely to help other people in terms of helping them out. I actually got sober in the end because a friend of mine, he told me about this book called How to Control Your Alcoholism by Allen Carr. I thought I was helping him out, so I've gone on this journey with him, and I stopped drinking. Where I'm going with this is, if you find yourself in a pickle, you've got to come to terms with having a problem in itself, yeah? Because amongst the culture that I'm from, drinking heavily, a lot, all the time, it's not seen as anything problematic. If anything, it's part of the culture. It's a level of expectation. But the thing is, there was other stuff happening in my life that I had to address and say, do you know what? This isn't what they're doing. You've actually got a problem. So I had to come to terms with that. The dog most definitely helped, just through something positive in my life. Something I loved, something I cared about, even when I didn't care about myself. And looking for ways to help myself, i.e. reading this book, exercising, all these things. It's not just one thing. It's not one thing that happens and everything goes on the straight and narrow. It's a journey, and it's gonna take time. It could take 1, 2 years, 3 years, but just make these little changes, these granular evolvements in your life to try and steer away from what life is towards what you want it to be like. And I promise you, you will get there. You will, I promise you, because I have. And I don't look back now, and I'm just so grateful for everything. So there is hope, basically. That's why I made this video, to just say, if you do find yourself in a place where you don't know what to do, just do something. Do something. And then do something else, and keep adding to these little bits. And I'm 3 years now completely sober. It took about 2 years of like 8-month stints, and then getting back on it, and then jumping back on it, and all this. But I can honestly say I've had 3 years now where I've not had a drop, and life's so much better. So I've got my dog to thank for that. I've got that book to thank for that. I've got Jesus. I found faith to thank for that, because it's hooked me in with some people that their weekends aren't surrounded by what I used to be surrounded by. I've got exercise to thank for that, and I guess I've got myself to thank for that as well. That's the other part of this, yeah. Don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back, because this is a solo mission that you're on. People will understand it. People that love you will understand it, but this has got to be by you, for you. And that's not to be selfish, like obviously family, kids and everything. They're going to be your motivation to want to be better, but you honestly have to do this for you. You're the one that's going to have to be confronted with these scenarios and decide not to say no, basically, to go, whoa, no. And that's not always easy, but I promise you it gets easier. And even little moments, I'll tell you about this geezer called Mickey P, who's in his 70s. And my first year, where I was doing my full year, I was going away on holiday. And I was thinking, how am I going to go on holiday and not drink? Because I'd never been able to do that before. And I was really worried, because also I didn't want to feel like I was missing out on anything. I didn't like the idea that I was not living an experience to the full. So I thought, well, I've had a great year, and I'll be able to go away on holiday and I'll drink there. I was meeting up for this talk, and this geezer from my church was with me, and I asked him where he'd been in that morning, because I'd been for a run and I see him going somewhere else. We was away camping, and he told me that he'd been to this recovery session. I said to him, I didn't know you were sober. And he went, yeah, I've been sober for about 40 years now. And I looked at his book. He had this recovery Bible, and he was showing it to me with this smile on his face, going, yeah, basically go through all the Bible verses, and at the bottom it tells you how it applies to recovery. I was like, that's amazing. I said, I looked at it, it was all torn and whatnot. I said, how long have you had this book? And he said, I've had this book for about 10 years, and the one before that I had for about 30. And I just thought, incredible. I'm in this queue, like this week, I'm about to go on holiday. In my head, I'm worried that I can't get through a summer. Mickey comes smiling over, talking to me about how he's had 40 summers sober. And now I just think of him. When I find myself in those moments where I think, oh no, I'll have a little drink, it'll be fine. I just think no, because he's in his 70s, happy as Larry, buzzing for life, buzzing to share with me what he's doing that morning. I want to be like him. I don't want to be what I used to be like, because you can keep running around in circles thinking you can out-gamify this situation, and sometimes you have to just say, enough, no, it's not worth it. Life isn't better with it, it's actually great without it. And we've all got our different things that we're struggling with. Food, it's smoking, it's alcohol, loneliness, not exercising or being active or even like walking. It's all these things, and we can overcome it. So I'll stop waffling on now, but I just wanted to make this video because it's that time of the year where we can slip into old habits, and it felt important. Much love. You've got this. There is hope. Come on.